Hello there. This is Cheryl Lentz, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, talking to you for my follow-up Friday. If you're a demonstrator, if you're probably watching on stage at home. We're having a virtual convention or a little get-together. It's been so much fun. I'm really enjoying it, but I wanted to take a minute to check in with you guys. I have a couple of, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Something happened there. I don't know what happened. Hello, Lenore. We have made a number of cards where I have pieces left over. And then I always say, well, we can do something with that. So, hello, Patty. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So I said, we are making cards from leftovers. Leftovers. I love leftovers. Leftovers that were on my desk that I wanted to then redesign. So when you make something and you have all these extra pieces, don't throw them away. I'm always all about, making something new, a different design out of pieces left over from something else. So I have two of the cards that, let's see, I keep getting weird messages here. I hope it's coming out okay. Two cards today to show you, and then one little technique that we have used for a long time, but sometimes you forget. We use our blends so much. I have a little trick with markers to add some pizzazz to some of your verses. Also, I want you to see my lovely, there they are, my lovely flowers. My upline, Sarah Schuler, sent me a bouquet of flowers celebrating reaching the 400,000 goal. So I wanted those in the picture here today. They're so pretty. That was so sweet of her. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you the leftovers. Let's get started here. I'm going to just flip this over here. I just keep getting like a bad connection thing. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So follow up Friday. There. Okay. So if you remember, we made this card. I showed you this card. It got a little damaged when we did it in class here. And so I had this piece left over. So here's where the Noel was cut out of. We used that on this card, but I had this piece that I thought I should be able to do something with. If you line it up, try off the little bit that's extra if it wasn't exactly right. But that's what I wanted to use. So what I came up with was this card right here. Ta-da! So here I used my leftover pieces because this is using our foam. Remember the foam that was so cool? You just peel it off and it's sticky on both sides. So I used the foam. Now I used 6x6. This is, I love this paper. This is from 'Tis the Season. It's on page 31 of the holiday book. And it has a nice Christmas print on the back. So I cut my 5 inches from it. And then I had pieces left over. I just flipped it over and used it on here, my 1 inch, because this is cut 5 inches, so this is 6. 1 inch piece. And then I had a little piece left over. Here it is. And so what I did was I cut my E, because if I glue this on and you can see all the way through it, my E would have been this pattern, and I didn't want that. So then I just used my extra piece and cut out an E and put it under there. So I used, yeah, so that was kind of fun. So there we go. I used up this scrap. So I got 2 cards out of this one cute little piece of designing there. And then this is what I wanted to talk to you about. So this is the stamp, that image that I'm using, right? But to bring in some colors, if I didn't want to use a piece of DSP in there, add something too, because I always like to have the inside pretty. I'm going to move this off to the side. I used my markers. We forget to use our markers. We're so into using the blends all the time, so I thought I would show you really quick, just a review, because most of you know how to do this, but just a quick review. So you decide like what colors you want where. This was easy to decide because it has this nice little green stem here. So you use the paintbrush end of your marker, and you're going to use the side of your marker. So when you're doing this like this, you just kind of go quickly to the side, right? And then I decided I would do this line here in the green, this center piece here. You're going to just color it over very delicately with the paintbrush end of your marker. Okay, just like that. There's my green. Now I'm going to take my red, my real red, and I'm going to go over this. So you just use the side of your marker and follow through all over here. There we go. So I'm using it, I'm working on the bottom side of my verse, of my word, right? And then I'm going to turn it over. It gives me a little more control. And then I'm doing the top side of the word. There we go. And then over here. So also what you can do with this technique, everything, you know, like if there's one that says, you know, I thought of you today, or something, and you only want to have a couple of those words, you can just pick out the words you want, color them with your marker, and there you go. So now, because this is water-based and I've kind of taken a little bit of time, we're going to do huffing, which I always, you don't want to do this in a class, but alone you can do this. Glasses and kind of breathe, get a little moisture when you're cleaning them. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so now when I put it down, let's pray it works. Ta-da! So I have red and green on the single stamp. And without double stamping it, you can do it all at once. Just use your markers. So that was kind of a fun little thing. Just a reminder, because I'm sure you're already doing that, but just a reminder. Now, we made this card here in class. Love this card. I use the embossing folder. We have kind of a narrow, hello Barb, a narrow embossing folder, one of the small ones that are made for when we get into our other, when we have our other, I'm trying to adjust my light here a little bit. Anyhow, I ran it through twice. So the leaves are here. So I had falling leaves on my, oops, trying to reconnect. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. So to cut this leaf out, I used, again, our fun foam. So I have the foam on there. And here's the card I made. So here's the square, a 3x3 square that I cut my leaf out of. That particular stamp dies do stitching on both sides. So it cuts out the leaf, but then it stitches on the outside of it. So here we go. So here is what I did on this one. I'm going to lift that up. So the foam is white. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but I took the side of my blend and I colored that white foam so that it wasn't so stark. See, like on, let's see here, on this one, you can see how white the foam is, right? So what I did is I took my blend and just colored the side of the foam there. So it was a little bit darker, not quite so bright. I didn't like that. So I used a piece of the plaid tidings, just stuck it on the back there and then put in some color. And I did stamp the leaf and there we go. Thought of you today. I'm so glad you're in my life. Ta-da! So that's using up my scraps. That's what I wanted to share with you today. So out of one card, initial card, we got another card. So there we go. Ta-da! That's my project for today. Don't forget to use your markers in a creative way. You can change up what your stamps say by picking and choosing what words you want to have on there. And I think we're all set. That's it. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that was fun. I know I promised to come back and do. Now that I'm in quarantine, I had lots of time. So I made up all these cards because we did this one in a class. So I had like 4 or 5 of them that I needed to get done. So comment on my video today, share my video today, and you may be picked to receive one of these leaf cards to celebrate fall. I'm going to turn this around. Oops, let's see here. I'm not sure if that bring on the camera here. So here we go. Here's our ta-da. There we go. There's our 2 new cards that I made from these two cards. So we love leftovers. Come on, there we go. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around. It seems I'm having some issues, so I'm not sure how it's coming through for you guys. I keep getting a message. Thank you, Patty. Yeah, don't ever throw anything away. All those little pieces, we pay for that cardstock and all those little things. So think about when you're cutting your paper, try to cut it so that you're leaving bigger pieces that you're going to be able to use on another project. If it's a little tiny piece, it's perfect for inside the card, for decorating inside. I have to decorate inside. Now we're doing, and I'm watching some stamping with Stampin' Up. Very few people finish off the inside. I have to. It's one of my little things. It's one of my little things. You know, everybody has those little quirks. That's my quirk. I like, whoops, it's trying to reconnect. I like to have the inside of my card finished so that it looks just as nice as the outside. You're not going to open and go, oh, well, that's really cute. But, so, anyhow, it's my personal issue. Cards are fun no matter what you're doing, but use all those scraps. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go back to my on stage at home. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. I appreciate it. And y'all have a great weekend. I'm going to be doing some more designing. If there's something you want to see on Tuesday, let me know before Tuesday, and I can work on it this weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe.